LA is having some mass riots right now. Hmm, that's not new. That's normal for the city. But this came because ICE was doing their job and taking down all of these criminals that are flowing through the streets. Now, one of the interesting things is that the president of the SEIU. Now, I've already covered all the criminal activity that's come from that organization earlier this year. That organization, it's the largest government union. No joke. These folks are just a major political force with the Democrat Party. And this guy was a this guy by the name of David Horta was arrested. He is uh, SEIU California president, and he was injured and arrested during an ICE raid. He was the socialist organization has come out and said that he was detained while exercising his First Amendment right to observe and document law enforcement activity. How much you want to bet, considering they didn't arrest a lot of these rioters, that this had nothing to do with him observing? So let's let you see some of this and listen. I've got two clips here. One's of the riot that was taking place. Read the graffiti. You see graffiti being painted, and also then I'll post a quick clip of the SEIU folks going off on a tangent about Horta getting arrested, and you can tell what we're fighting against in this country.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
We go back now to our reporter, Christina Gonzalez, on the ground there in front of the Federal Roybal building in downtown Los Angeles, where we are told that protesters are now trying to get into that building. Christina, tell us what's going on.
Okay, I gotta be careful here. What we have is a group of protesters who try to enter the building. They are actually using the garbage, and you see that we're getting pelted with gas pellets. That is tear gas. Okay, so what we had was a crowd of about 20 people who tried to enter the building a few minutes ago. And they are now backing up because we have been, excuse me, we have tear gas being thrown at us. At this point, we do not see anybody in terms of LAPD or law enforcement near us, but I have a feeling this is going to happen at some point soon. The crowd is going back in. Those are actually photographers, because you can see that they actually there was a fence there, and they actually went in. The moment they tried to go in, they were met by the officers that you see with the tear gas. So the crowd is backing up, and they're beginning to throw things at the officers. And of course, in the middle of this, we have somebody in a dinosaur suit. But the crowd has backed off a little bit, and we have about 30, 40 people around us, and they're beginning to try to move back in. Some of them and throw some of the cones at the officers. So it's a very volatile situation.
Appreciate you trying to cover this story. We hear the coughing there. I'm guessing that is due to the tear gas. Please do what you need to do to be safe as we watch this picture here. You can see that.
We're okay. I mean,
okay?
so far
right,
we're okay. Let me show you something, because they're coming back. They're coming back in. Look at the guy on the left. They are actually creating a barricade of sorts to try to block the entrance. Again, this is the entrance of the Metropolitan building, not the Metropolitan Holding Facility. And what they're trying to do is to block it so that the vehicles that were taking some of those who were detained could not come out. So here they're coming back in. I don't think this crowd is going to let go of the situation.
So, Christina, you're saying they don't want them to be transported, if I'm understanding you correctly, right?
That's right. They don't want the people who were here, who were being, you saw earlier, we showed some of the white vans where they were transporting some of the people who had been detained in the courtrooms to places like Texas and some of the places where there was room. Now, the crowd is, you see the crowd that we're showing you? There's about 30 people that are remaining. The main 200, 300, 400 people, they have moved down the street. What remains here is about 50 people who are what courts can call hardcore. And they're saying that they want to make a stand. They believe that they do not want people being transported.
Christina,
and, you see them painting graffiti.
As we're watching this here, we do know that you have protesters and sometimes you have outside agitators who come in with their own cause, their own purpose, their own mission to be there. As you're looking at the crowd here, do you feel that it's largely protesters against ICE and the raids and the deportations?
So I think the majority of the protests had that in mind. Definitely people upset. I don't know, can I talk to you a minute? Are you okay? All right. Thank you. Some people don't want to talk, but I'm going to try to find somebody to get a sense as to why they're saying and how. Can I talk to you a second? Okay. You know, to your point, there are people here who have their own agendas, and their agendas are anger. They're angry about what's going on and all kinds of other issues.
You know,
but generally,
we saw that in 2020.
What we're hearing from the people here is that what they saw today tipped them over the top.
Yeah. Christina, we saw that in 2020, right, where some outside agitators came in and got involved in some of the protests. I'm reading something that was sent to me by the Chief of Police's office, Jim McDonnell. The LAPD will continue to have a visible presence in all of our communities to ensure public safety. We will not assist or participate in any sort of mass deportations, nor will the LAPD try to determine an individual's immigration status. That's from the Chief of Police's office. So I need to know if you can tell us who's lobbed the tear gas that's causing you to cough.
The tear gas came from the officers inside the parking lot, and that is what they use to push the crowd back, because the crowd was pushing inside into the parking lot.
Several ICE raids across Los Angeles today, including one in a Home Depot parking lot.
We're also learning David Huerta, the president of the SEIU California Labor Group, was detained during the ICE raid in LA today. He was taken to the hospital as a precaution. He was released from the hospital, but is still detained right now. And there is a rally going on. SEIU leaders are speaking right now and addressing the raid and the detaining of their president. Let's listen in.
Unfair labor contracts, unfair trade agreements with Latin America. It is those that cause climate change, those that fund and rather fund corporate and criminalist parties across and abroad. They'd rather destroy socialist governments rather than see true dignity for human lives.
And there you hear the SEIU leader speaking right now. We'll continue to follow this developing story and keep you posted throughout the evening.
Now, I wasn't even going to make a video today. I was thinking about it, but it wasn't that high of a priority. And then I got to watching this garbage. LA is well known for being violent. I mean, it's every time that they can, they try to burn part of their city. They're trying to protect criminals. You saw what happened with the fires, all those fires that were caused by people setting them, and then the LA Fire Department couldn't keep up with it because they didn't have any water because of mismanagement. I mean, there is so much mismanagement and violence in this city. I've got friends of mine that had lived there all their lives, literally born there, that have moved away. and moved to red districts and are voting Republican because of what they saw in LA. And some of them you'd be shocked at. But this is what goes on in LA. This is what we have to deal with. So, just thought I'd cover this. This has been Paul, Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. It helps me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.